So Kaylin, you brought some stuff with
Yes.
you to really show me some of the tools you might use on your investigation. First thing you've got here, I'd look at those and say you were trying to find a well. What are these?
So these are the dowsing rods. These are our big, they're generally copper rods, L-shaped. Actually, my first experience with dowsing rods was when I moved into my house in Gillespie, and we had a sewer problem, which is never fun. And my dad said, well, go get your witching sticks. And I was like, you're crazy, old man. And he said, no, go get those sticks you have. So I got them, like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Actually got them free with something else. I had never used them. And he said, I want you to start walking the yard, and when they cross, you put a little mark there. So
okay.
I humored him, and I did it. And they crossed, and I made a mark in the yard. Had my brother do it. He did the same thing. They crossed in the same spot. And then he's like, okay, get the backhoe. And I'm like, okay, we need to wait a second here. And he's like, well, that means that there's underground water running through there. And he got a backhoe, dug it up, and sure enough, there was my sewer.
There you go.
So,
all right.
So yeah, basically dowsing rods, they've been around forever. A lot of people call them pseudoscience. Basically, they don't believe in it. They think it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But it saved me several hundreds of dollars of hiring someone to come out.
And locate.
So it was worth the free that I got them for.
But you used it not to find sewers every day.
No.
How would you use those in an investigation?
Yeah, so the idea with the dowsing rods is kind of the same thing with finding water. Basically, the idea is the copper rods can detect different elements, different fluctuations. So the idea is that spirits, it could detect spirits, different fluctuations in energy. People use them to communicate with spirits, thinking that it might be easier for them to manipulate the rods. So for instance, you'd hold the rods out straight. Just kind of hold them out straight as best you can. I'm not doing a very good job right now. And you'd start, whenever they're straight, you'd start asking questions. And you would say, if it's yes, please cross them, and please separate them for no. Start asking questions and see what you get, and follow along.
And they just cross.
They just cross.
What is that? What is that?
Well, it goes back to where you need to get a baseline reading.
Yeah, and this room would be full of
Would be not a good place to do that.
So what else you got? You got something here that says the ghost meter.
Yeah, so this is what I tell people when they come up to me. Hey, where do I start with ghost hunting? I don't have a lot of money. What do I go buy? You can get these little ghost meters. They're EMF readers. Not very high tech, but you can get them on Amazon usually for under 25 bucks.
Okay.
It's a good thing to get the kiddos for Christmas if they're into it.
And stocking stuffer.
Yeah, stocking stuffer. Or people will get them just to check and see if they have high EMF in their house.
Okay.
So basically, I'm not going to push the button because it's a big old loud...
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, I turned the sound off. Haha, I thought ahead. So basically you would just kind of get a baseline reading. Right now, right in the middle of the table, we're at green. If we went ahead and we put this closer to the mic...
For the computer.
Yeah. I mean, it might go up. It's a little bit up. You kind of have to get it to something really bad wiring for it to go to the red. I mean, if it goes to the red, all of a sudden you might want to pay attention to it. But the idea, again, you're just kind of measuring your EMF.
Okay. And the next one here says EMF as well.
Yeah, this is a K2 meter. This is the one that you'll see on all the ghost shows. It's more expensive, but it's going to do the exact same thing as that ghost meter. It's just got pretty little lights.
I gotcha.
So basically it's the same sort of thing. Green's low EMF. If you get to the red, pay attention. Something's going on.
And this one over here, it says...
The Mel meter. It is my favorite because you're doing 2-in-1. Let's see, I didn't put probably batteries in it. Okay, so the Mel meter is going to give you a digital readout of your EMF as well as your temperature. Again, going back to the theory that spirits are using energy to manifest, if your EMF's going up and your temperature's going down, you might want to pay attention. The reason why I like it is just simply it's 2 bits of information in one.
Yeah, nice meter you can use for 2 different things. Yeah. So there you go.
Kind of a basic starter kit.
I mean, if you want to get started in ghost hunting, basic tools of the trade.
Yes,
that's what you're saying?
I would say so. Yeah, a lot of people will also, like I said, get digital tape recorder, whatever you prefer. People get thermal cameras to see any kind of changes in heat and things like that. But honestly, if you're just looking for one thing to start off with, I would say dowsing rods and some kind of EMF meter. Wow. For me personally, anyway.
Well, how about that? First first video here that we've done on the What's That Like podcast.
Yes.
Caitlin, thank you for demonstrating
not a problem.
all the tools there for us, and we'll see you out there online. Thanks a lot. What's That Like is available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Search for What's That Like. Subscribe today and never miss an episode. Streaming is available at SoundCloud.com and on the SoundCloud app. Follow What's That Like at Facebook.com/What's That Like Podcast and on Twitter at What's That Like Pod. All opinions of the guests of the What's That Like podcast are their own, not necessarily the views of the host or the podcast producers. We hope you enjoy this podcast serving Central Illinois and beyond. Peace out!